Hey guys, it's KJ48 and welcome back to Tips, Tricks, and Tutorials. And for this episode of Tips, Tricks, and Tutorials, I'm going to teach you how to make thumbnails for your YouTube videos. Now the only program you're going to need for this that doesn't come with your computer already is GIMP, and I will leave a link in the description. The other program we're going to be using does come with your computer, comes with all Windows machines, and it's called Paint. The first thing you're going to want to do is to take a screenshot of in-game footage to be the starting picture for your thumbnail. Now what you're going to need to do is open the video that you need the thumbnail for, and you're going to watch it. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to look for the most interesting thumbnail you can find on the video, and then you're going to think of a name for the video, and that's going to be the name of your video. Now the reason you're looking for the most interesting part of your video is pretty self-explanatory. When people look at your thumbnail on YouTube, it's going to have to be something that gets them to want to watch the video. For this sample video, I chose this screenshot for obvious reasons. Zombies up in your face, the screenshot just really pops, and I'm going to call this video Home Invasion. So now what you want to do is you want to come to your video again, and you're going to hit F2. After you highlight it, hit F2. And then put the name of the video in there. Home Invasion. And there you go. You've just named your video. Okay, now in order to get this screenshot off of the video and onto something you can use in GIMP, basically all you have to do is go to full screen, give a second for your mouse pointer to disappear, and then hit print screen. Now remember that Paint application I was telling you about earlier? That's when this is going to come into play. Basically what you're going to do is you're just going to come onto this window and you're going to do Control V, and that's going to copy the screenshot onto Paint. And then you're going to come up here to the left and you're going to go to Save. I'm going to save mine as homeinvasion.jpg. I just like to save my stuff as JPEGs, and then hit Save. Now the way you would begin editing your first thumbnail in GIMP is you would right click on the picture and you would go edit with GIMP, and then when it opens up you basically just press this little bar right here, make it full screen, and if your toolbar isn't up yet you just hit the Control B like so. Bam. Alright, the first thing you're going to need for your thumbnail is the name of the game. So what I usually do is for 7 Days to Die I would go to Google Images and then I would put in 7 Days to Die. And then right here is a logo, and logos are really special because they could kind of be imprinted on the image without having a border around them themselves. So you're just going to go right here, you're going to go to Save Image As. I save it in my 7 Days to Die folder. I'm not going to save it because I already have it, but I just wanted to show you how to do it. Now what you have to do is you have to go to Open as Layer and 7 Days to Die Alpha 1.1. I know that was the image. And there you go. See how it's like it doesn't intrude on the background? It's really neat. So just for this one, I'm going to put this up in the top left-hand side, and there we go, 7 Days to Die. Alright, and the next thing we're going to want to add to the video is the text options. And there's all kinds of text you can put around the screen, but just for an example here, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to put the name of the episode and the episode number right here. So we're going to come over here to the text icon, the text tool, the A, and the first thing we're going to look for is a cool font. And I've chosen Valken Thin. And then now that we have Valken Thin, I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to type in, I always like to use capitals on my thumbnail, so I'm going to type in episode 04. And we could just leave that the way it is, and then up here I'm going to put the name of the episode, and it's going to be Home Invasion. Now, if you look up here, the Home Invasion is a bit long, so what I'm going to do to help that out is I'm going to have the home on top, the invasion on the bottom. So the next thing we're going to pick is a color for the text, and you want something that's going to kind of pop out. And I actually have already chosen, I basically took this eyedropper thing, which lets you pull a color off the screen, and I pulled one of these colors off the 7. Just to have a little bit of continuity on the screen. So I've already saved the color right here. So there we go, Home Invasion. And we're going to do the same thing with 04. And there we go. And now we just have to put these in place. You could click this little move tool, and then you can click on the items and just move them around wherever you want. I'm going to put the episode 04 on the bottom left, and I'm going to put the Home Invasion on the top right. Now, home invasion is a little bit weird. It's the home is to the left and the invasion is in the middle. So I'm going to click on the tool options for the text again. I'm going to highlight that text, and then I'm going to choose this option right here, which will center it. And for episode 4, this needs to be a lot bigger. So let's make that 300. Is that big enough? Yeah, 300 looks good. I'm actually going to make the home invasion smaller. It's taking up a lot of real estate. So let's make that 160. That's pretty good. Let's make it a little bit bigger. 180. There we go. And now let's put these into place. You know what? That episode 04 is still looking a bit small. So let's make it 340. How about that? 340. You want them to really... That's still a little small. You want them to really be able to see the episode number. It's obviously the most important thing. So let's put that into place right there. Put the home invasion into place. We'll move it over here. And now we have the text where we want it to be. The next thing we're going to want to do is make this text pop out even more. Now, how can we do that? Well, I'll tell you how we can do that. What we can do is we can put outlines around the text. And that's a little unwieldy with GIMP, but I'll show you how to do it. And once you've learned how to do it, it's not really a big deal. You're going to click on the text, and you're going to right-click and then go to Path from Text. Okay. Now you're highlighting the text, and you can actually move around on it. You want to make sure that for the next part of this step, you are not highlighting the text. So just click anywhere off the screen. Now you can see a little dotted line around the text, and you got to pick an outline color. I'm going to choose black. It's already set for black. And then you're going to right click and go to Edit, and then you're going to go to Stroke Path. Now for Stroke Path, you have a bunch of options here. I usually just make the line with 8, and I leave everything else the same. And then you click Stroke, and there you go. You do the same thing with episode 4. Path from text, click off it, right click, edit, stroke path, 8, stroke. Okay, now this thumbnail is looking pretty good. I think it's just about done, and I'm going to get into some of the save options and ways that you can go about making thumbnails in the future and exporting this for the use of this thumbnail. I want to be very clear on this. There's two kinds of files that can come out of GIMP. There is an exported file, which is basically the file. I'll just give an example here. This is my exported file for episode 3, Quicksand, and this cannot be edited anymore. This is it. It's done, and that's that. There's also a save file where you can save the edited version. This right here is an edited version. I can do anything with it. I can play around with it in any way I want, and you're going to want to save that, and they're basically going to look like this. So I'll show you how to do that right now. You're going to go to Save. You're going to go to Save As, and you're just going to name it whatever you want, and it's going to be an XCF file, whatever that is, and you're going to click Save. So I'm going to save this as Tips, Tricks, and Tutorials thumbnail, and we will save that for future use. Okay, so the thumbnail is done, and it is saved, and now we have to export it. So we're going to come up here, and we're going to go to Export. It's also Shift-Control-E. And we're going to export it. Now you just name it whatever you want. I'll name it episode 04, and it's going to save it as a PNG file. Now you do not want to save it as a PNG file. PNG files are typically a bit larger of a file, and YouTube can only accept thumbnails of a certain size, and PNG, I've had problems with it not being accepted. So just type .jpeg, and JPEGs are always smaller and always accepted on YouTube, and you shouldn't have any problems with it. And just go to export. It's going to give you some options here for exporting. I don't mess with any of this. I just hit export, and there you go. Okay, now you've now saved the file, you've exported the file, you've got the thumbnail ready for YouTube, and I'm going to now show you why you saved it. Okay, let's say you're done here and you're going to close this out, and you're done. You're going to go to Save, and you're just going to close everything out. Now let's say you come on tomorrow and you make another video and you need another thumbnail. You could always start from the beginning and do the whole thing over, or you can hit your save file, which in this case is TTT thumbnail, and it will pop up. GIMP is going to start, it's going to do its plugins, starting extensions, and boom, there you go. Now you can just, don't forget, Control B brings up your toolbar, and boom, you could start doing everything all over again. Rename it, redo the episode, make sure you redo the outlines. Now the other thing you're going to have to replace when you do a new thumbnail is obviously the background picture. So I'll show you how to deal with that. Basically, you're going to come over to here, you're going to go to Move Tool, you're going to click on the background picture, and you're going to press Delete. Then you're going to come up here, you're going to go to Open as Layers, and you're going to pick whatever the background picture of your new video is going to be. Like Home Invasion, there you go. And then you're going to export it again, and there, you have your next thumbnail video. Just make sure every time you close it down, you choose to save it, and then you will be up to date at all times. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this episode of Tips, Tricks, and Tutorials. I hope you found it entertaining and, hope you learned something. And I'll see you for the next episode. Until then, take it easy.